on today's sessions we are going to learn about the asset properties in DBMS. So we know like assets stand for atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. Okay, so these properties first proposed by Reuter and Harder. Okay, so these two scientists come up with the database properties called as asset. Okay, so what is atomicity? So atomicity guarantees that each transaction is treated as a single unit. Okay, and which either be succeeded or it can completely be failed. Okay, and yes, of course, in between the transaction, database should not be left in the unchanged state. So either it should be completed or it should be failed one. Okay. So the failure can happen in many reasons. Maybe the kind of power failure, or a kind of DB crash or errors, etc. Okay. So now we'll see what is consistency. So consistency is like to maintain the transaction should have consistent throughout its lifestyle. Like let's say the transaction A and B is happening on a server, and during this time, okay, so from account A from account A the amount is withdrawal, and it will deposit to account B. So in between this the phase from withdrawing from account A to depositing account B, it should be consistent. Okay, it should not change in by any of this way. Okay, so the information is going to be update and insert on these two accounts should be consistent. So we can achieve the consistency, let's say by applying constraints, cascading rules, and yes, by triggers. Okay, of course in RDBMS we use the primary key and foreign key relationship. Okay, the third one is isolation. Okay, so the transaction should be isolated from the other transactions happening on the DB side itself. So let's say there are transaction A and transaction B, which are individual single unit. Okay, so while working, transaction A should not going to communicate with transaction B, and yes, vice versa. Okay, so this is why we call it isolation. We can set up the isolation level based on the business requirement on the server itself. We'll see that later part. Okay, so by setting the isolation levels, the transaction management changes accordingly. Okay, yes, we have a durability. So durable is like the transaction should be durable. So we have seen atomicity, like it guarantees that the transaction will either be completed or it will be failed. Okay, so durable, like during the transaction management, okay, the transaction should be durable. Okay, it should be longer last. It should not be going to change after the let's say there is a power failure or crashed or any kind of unwanted instance happen on the server itself. Yes, so these are the 4 properties and which are very much required while understanding the DBMS. Okay, so we'll see the broader level discussion into the while we learning the SQL part. Okay, thank you.